Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to this webinar. My name is Adriaan Myburgh and I'll be your organizer for the session. And with me today is Adriaan Myburgh. I have a short video I'd like to play just before handing over to our presenter.
As a Happy New Year and welcome back gesture, Articulated offers a heat pump installation course with a whopping 10% discount. Consisting of 7 modules, this course provides knowledge about the types of heat pumps available, the economic benefits of heat pumps, and a basic overview of the SANS 1352 national standard. To expand your knowledge about heat pumps and for a chance to earn yourself 5 CPD points, register for this online course at www.iopsatraining.co.za today.
Thank you, and that's it from us. I'd like to hand over to our presenter.
Hi, thanks, Barry. You've got my screen there. Okay. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was telling Byron earlier, I feel a bit sheepish this morning. We're talking about kicking off 2023. If you consider we're just about a week short of finishing January of 2023 already. So let's call kicking off 2023. Starting off 2023 would probably be a more accurate assessment of what we're looking at doing. So what should I focus on in 2022? What should we focus on in 2023? Look for positivity. There's plenty of it if you focus on it. We've just enjoyed, or most of us have just enjoyed a nice holiday and time with the family, and now we're back at work. So changing that mindset from that whole relaxed atmosphere back into the stress and the tribulations of working with clients, staff, etc., etc. So stay away from negativity and negative people. Having said that, I would like to continue by having a look at some of the challenges that lie ahead in 2023. Load shedding, so it's starting to become like a swear word. You hear that people get all worked up around where they should be looking at or what we should be doing. Failure of... Sorry.
Your slideshow is not up.
That's a bit of a problem. So that one. Sure. Can you see it now?
Yep, that's perfect.
Sorry about that. So let's start with the challenges again. Load shedding, failure of local governments. We're not in a position to criticize, but it is something that we need to accommodate for or allow for in our businesses, in our daily lives. Price increases, inevitable. You know that every single year starts off with, we regret to inform you that X, Y, and Z is going up by so many percent. It's something that cannot be avoided. Political insecurity, the less said about that, the better, other than as long as there's no stability or political security in the area where you work, things could change overnight. Policies change, conditions of work change, availability of work change. People are not committing to investing money in developments, etc., etc. So indirectly, it does become a challenge. Economic hardships. Let's face it, we're all in the same boat when it comes to that type of or in that position. People are not spending their money on nice to have. They're spending it on essentials. They're spending it on stuff for the family. So what would be a fix me up has now become an accommodation for a family, and they're holding on to that accommodation rather than investing thousands into it and upgrading and fixing it up. So it affects everybody in the long run. Your staff, your own company, your clients, everybody gets knocked in the same way. Water and sewer infrastructure failing. Infrastructure referring back to the local government, referring back to our provincial water treatments, etc., etc. It is a given fact. The less money spent on it or the less maintenance being done on that, you'll find that those things will just keep deteriorating. And the more they deteriorate, the less water we have, the more blockages we have, the more sewage spillages we have into our rivers and oceans, etc. So it is definitely a challenge. Global warming, extreme weather events. I can tell you where I stay in the Eastern Cape, it is now probably just after 7, it's 25 degrees already. And our dam levels are below 9.5%. So it's getting worse and worse by the day. Geopolitical events with the war in Ukraine, we're not involved, but it affects every sale, every import, every global body, or every international company aligning themselves with another, selling, prioritizing their deals with other countries, finding other sources of what would have normally come out of the Ukraine or that area. Legislative changes, we deal with that continuously. Like I said, it goes hand in hand with political security. It goes hand in hand with governance that actually allows for positive change to happen. Unemployment, I don't need to expand on that. You can, on your way to work or your way to your office, you would have seen people standing at the side of the road. It is a continuous problem. Crime, yes, your tools disappearing, your clients' plumbing disappearing, etc., etc. We are affected. But in general, if we look at all the challenges, the biggest one that we need to look, or the biggest one we need to avoid, is negativity. Because if we're going to start off the year by looking at the list I've just worked through now, you won't be getting out of bed in the morning, and you'll get to the office and you'll sit and worry about what is going to happen for that day. So a couple of suggestions for 2023. What you should be and I should be focusing on. I would be the first to admit I'm still busy with one or two of these things because it's a continuous thing. It's something that we take for granted until we need to relook at it. So do you have a plan and a budget for 2023? A budget you can work on, but you need to have a plan or a strategy on how you're going to tackle 2023, what you would like to achieve for yourself and your staff in 2023. Buy and support local. You'll see a little logo or a little banner later. You cannot expect your local community to support you as a local if you don't do the same. When we're talking about buying and supporting local, not necessarily plumbing material, although that would be first prize, but also your stationery, your tea and coffee, your whatever you need for your office, your PPE. Support the local people, support the people that try and thrash a living out of the same environment that you do. Focus on what you are good at. Obviously, we were all born with different skills. We were born with different talents. So focus on what you're good at, and at the same time, the next one, improve where you are weak. Not necessarily weak, but weaker than your good points, because a lot of us do things that we do it to make a living or we do it to survive. But if you think about it, there are certain things you do better than others. And if you can improve on the weaker ones, in other words, improve your all-round performance, that would probably add to your business. Look for ways to improve the way you do business. In other words, there's a well-known TV ad about a security or an insurance company that says if you keep doing what you've always been doing, you can't expect a different outcome. So look for different ways. Diversification versus specialization. If you've been doing A, B, and C for the last 2 or 3 years and things have been moving along, try adding a couple of extra bows to your string. See if we can add 1 or 2 other. There are various other specializations available through our LMS system. There are training opportunities available for you to keep adding to what your company can actually provide your clientele. Creative marketing, stand out from the crowd. Yes, I'm going to probably put my foot in it and say that plumbers are creative, but we are technically creative. So when it comes to catching the eye, catching your spot in the marketplace, it is probably a more specialized service. So even if you need to contact someone, someone to help you with your marketing, someone to put you in the right place or to put your company name out there. It is a good investment to make sure that if your marketing makes you stand out from the crowd, then you'll find that your business should also be improving at the same time, then surpassing your opposition or your peers in that specific area where you work. This one I'm marked in red because I feel this is something that we can, as our IOPSA, which you'll see shortly, I would like for us as members to concentrate on upskilling yourself. Number one, the business owner, the senior plumber, the foreman, the managing, whatever title you have within your organization or your company, upskill yourself. And then you take your staff, the people that go out there every day representing your company or representing the institution that you work for, and upskill them as well. Make sure that when you send someone out to site, they know exactly what to do, how to do it, and it will automatically cut back on a whole lot of remedial work, on callbacks, on a number of things. And as your reputation and the word of mouth in that area or in your community improves around what you can and cannot do and how well you do it, you'll find that you will ultimately benefit more and more by upskilling yourself and your staff. Educate your clients. Sounds weird, sounds probably out of place, but we all know about non-compliance notices. We all know about when you get there and it was done wrong. Don't just tell the client that the previous guy was an idiot, he didn't know what he was doing. Educate your client, saying the standard says X, Y, and Z. It changed in 2017 as far as users are concerned. This is what we need to do. If I could do this for you, you could possibly benefit you will benefit in the long run with energy efficiency, with water efficiency. You'll have a more safe system. Engage with your client. Don't be the guy that sends someone out to the house and then an invoice. You as a business owner, you as the plumber should be educating your client and engaging with them, saying, this is what I'm going to leave you with so that you feel more comfortable. And if there's any hassles, you call me back. Be active in your community. We have 2 or 3 or 4 days we do a year as our IOPSA, as an institution, where we have World Plumbing Day, we have Mandela Day, we have a number of days. I'm proud to say that in our area and in most other areas, there are actually there is charity work happening all over the place. It happens on a continuous basis. So by helping someone today, they might refer you to your next big client, or they might refer you to your next 10 smaller clients. So be active, be visible, be there so that your community know that you're there. Service, service, service. If everybody is going to install a tap, the only difference between the one and the other would be your level of service, your level of professionalism, your level of, yes, the plumber was on time. Yes, they cleaned up nicely. And I'm so happy this thing works like a charm. I should have done it years ago. Next time they have a braai, or next time they have a friend pitch on a group or post something on a group that says, I'm having hassles with my basin, or I'm having hassles with my shower, chances are 99% that happy client would refer them to you. So above all, maintain a positive attitude. Look at 2023 as options. Look at it as opportunities that will be coming your way, and be ready to embrace whatever is coming. So back to our IOPSA. South Africa's got a huge number of challenges. There's no way government can solve them all. It is impossible. We've been looking at the government to do certain things. Yes, they do things their own way. Yes, but the general consensus when you're looking at business owners or you're looking at people involved in the industry, we will all need to pitch in and become active citizens in solving our own problems. So if there's a water leak and the council can't fix it, phone the plumber. Yes, if there's bigger metros, there might be hassles with someone fiddling on council infrastructure. But if something in a small rural village, the water's been running for 3 weeks or a month or 6 months and no one's been fiddling with it, become involved. contact your local authority, be there, try and assist. It sounds unreasonable, or it sounds illogical to do work on a burst pipe in a rural town, but once your water's run out and there's no water in the pipes, you won't have any work. So in general, let's see if we can become active citizens, not the negative Nellies that go around criticizing all the time, but become active in solving these problems. So I spoke about opportunities. I'm just going to run through a couple of them. A lot of plumbers stare themselves blind in geyser replacements and insurance work, etc., and they complain about rates, and they complain about opposition not having qualified guys, etc. But while everybody's focusing on a single task at hand, or one of the tasks that a plumber can do, we tend to lose out on the balance. Alternative water sources. We spoke about how scarce water is, grey water, rainwater, boreholes, backup water, for water storages, etc. There are standards for these activities, or there are standards for these installations. Get to know them, get to quote according to them, and make sure that we can actually provide that type of service in your community. Water purification, treatment, and deliveries. As the quality of water deteriorates in the area where you stay, or the borehole water or any other source of water needs treatment and delivery, there's an opportunity. Flood control, and I'm tongue in cheek, I'm going to refer to the KZN plumbers. Guys, considering what happened in 2022, you need to up your skills in mitigating extreme weather events. Solar water heating and heat pumps. We all know that from 2010, alternative or energy efficiency has become a thing. So if your region, or if in your region you have guys that are designated for solar water heater installer and heat pump installer, you'll find that you can step up your game. It doesn't have to be new work. It doesn't have to be a new build or a new building going up. These things can be retrofitted. They can actually add on to an existing building, making sure that people can benefit. Pipe relining, specialized leak detection, smart water management technologies. You're looking at in the area where you stay, you look at how many sectional title developments there are. You'll find that if you look at submetering, which has been a requirement since 2001, a lot of these units don't have individual water meters. They don't have water management within there. We're not even talking about upskill or upsized or improved technologies. We're talking about basic submetering. There's something you can contact your managing agents. You can work around. Hygienic products, touchless bathrooms, definitely on the improve. The more funny things we have floating around, the less people want to get into contact with other people, especially being in a bathroom. Non-sewer sanitation or on-site sewer treatment. It's a big thing. It's a lot of money being spent on waterless solutions. Off-grid solutions altogether. We're talking boil, we're talking PV, we're talking a whole lot of options that are out there. Creative solution-based thinking. In other words, look at a problem you might be having or that might be rearing its head in your area. Work around that, and then once you get into this whole solution-based thinking, you might run into even more opportunities than what I've got listed here. So water and sanitation infrastructure, somewhere along the line, someone is going to have to spend money on fixing water and sanitation infrastructure, whether it's private infrastructure, whether it is provincial or government or whichever form of infrastructure you're looking at. Someone is going to have to spend money to fix this, whether it's private sector. You keep hearing the politicians asking the private sector to become involved with the running of the local authorities and helping out in whichever way they can. So all in all, water and sanitation spend, it must happen. Smart buying, yes. We all know, we joke about the ladies in the room or the ladies that are out there that go shopping for bargains that are not bargains, or they buy because it's a bargain. It is not going to be one of those. It simply means that you are involved with what is out there. You buy smart, you become one of the smart purchases. If someone's going to be spending smart money, you want it to be spent on your company. And then all I'm going to say about this is, gentlemen, Department of Labor, COCs, keep an eye out, keep an eye on this space. The main question is, are you ready? Are you in a position that you can benefit to whatever requirement is going to be set out there, or whatever criteria is going to be set? Are you ready to comply? Are you ready to become or to be a part of the solution rather than the obstacle? So looking at, or having looked at your opportunities, just give me a minute to touch on our IOPSA's focus areas. Marketing campaign. Use an IOPSA member is something that we've been running for a bit. We are going to be strengthening, we're going to be increasing our efforts or strengthening our efforts in that area so that consumers become aware of our members. We're looking at new specializations. If I tell you how many hours we have been working on this for quite a bit, specialization in addition to the solar heat pump, that type of specialization, we're looking at pipe relining, leak detection, water reuse, backflow prevention, green plumbing. Some of these things have already been designed, or the curriculum has already been set, so that we can get people to have a designation in backflow prevention, so that when you install, and the standard says then with every 12 months this thing needs to be serviced, so that once you have the designation, there's nothing keeping you from involving yourself in that specialized field. BCO training, I'm privileged to be involved with that. We are engaging with the BCOs across the country on almost a daily and a full-time basis, so that when a building inspector comes to your site, you don't end up, you as a qualified plumber and our IOPSA member, don't end up arguing with the BCO about what should be happening and why he wants a vent on bend with a vent valve under the window, and we saying it's an open vent required. There's a lot, okay, I've oversimplified it. There's a lot more involved with that. We're trying to get them to attend our regional meetings, our plumbers evenings. We're trying to engage with them on a full-time basis, because we all of our contracting happens within the area of jurisdiction of that BCO. Same thing applies to the municipal water bylaws. We are assisting, and we've got 4 or 5 of the other region or new regions that have been added onto the list by SELGA, the Local Government Association. We're having areas nominated where they need help. So we step in, and without taking the show over, assist them in what they need to be doing, train them, highlight 1 or 2 things that could make their life easier. Like I said just now, we're still busy with the Department of Labor on the COC issues. Water and sanitation, plumbing is going to change very quickly. There's a couple of standards that are being revised at the moment. There's even legislation that's being changed at the moment. Water efficiency is going to be a big thing. The less water we have, the less water we'll be able to use, and the more penalty rates or the more scale tariffs you get in your region, the more people have to pay for water, the more they'll be looking at us and our members to make sure that their water consumption gets cut down. Insurance forum, we are proposing a much more aggressive approach, getting the insurance to work with us instead of against us. Career guidance and career path development. Watch this space, guys. I've been involved with a bit of the planning. The career guidance and path development, we're creating a platform where someone that decides to become a plumber can now approach our IOPSA and say, this is what I'd like to do, and we'll help him on that path, and we'll set him onto or put him onto our members for on-site training, etc. Competence certificates and assessments, best practice guides. We're looking at the standards being so expensive. We're looking at alternatives. So best practice guide would be a simplified standard telling you what you can do and not do, how to do it or how to get it done practically, with the aid of plumbers that have been in the system for 4 or 5 or 6 decades, and including the standards, never contravening the standards, but making it more accessible and making it more practical. So new technologies, our new membership system, we're going to look at including youngsters, including people that are not up to speed or up to size yet, but including them and guiding them into becoming full members. Proudly SA, buy local, we spoke about that. ARPL, it's also a big thing that we're looking at, recognizing skilled, unqualified plumbers. So the people that have been doing plumbing for 20 years and never had the opportunity to qualify, watch the space. We're going to have qualified plumbers going through this ARPL process, and everybody will be upskilled and benefiting by it. So before we end off, I spoke about marketing and I spoke about a lot of things positive and things you could do for 2023. My question to you in closing would be, are you using IOPSA in your marketing? Are you benefiting from all the exposure that we are creating? Claim your listing on IOPSA, find a plumber. Guys, go to Google in your region, your clients will be looking, find a plumber. They click find a plumber. If you go onto Google, you'll find that there's 1 or 2 tech talks, or there's information around this available from IOPSA. It gets broken down into a region. So if in your region you do block drains, you do geyser replacements, you do water, you do new installations, and all your services are listed there. When a prospective client opens find a plumber and they go Pretoria, this area, this year, and they find a list of the names and they find the services you provide, you're in business. You're more than welcome to look at the stats that are available from our marketing department. The numbers of people, they call it click-through, don't ask me about that, but click-through means that they basically find you on site and then they actually go to your site or your website that you've listed, or they contact the plumber. In other words, they don't only scroll and peruse the website, they actually go and they find that plumber to get work done. So make sure, if you haven't done it yet, take a 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour out of your day, make sure that you find you are a member. It's a free service, or it's a free function for our members. Privy Seal, it's based on the architectural one. Instead of your signature, you'll get an active. If you're a paid up member, you'll get a Privy Seal. So when you submit a tender document or you submit documentation to council, you can actually add your Privy Seal down the bottom to ensure that the document is legit. It's not something that I made a copy of one of your documents, I signed it and I submitted to get a tender. That Privy Seal is freely available to all our members. Use the IOPSA logo in your marketing. The logo changed a number of years ago, and I actually had to go look at the old one because I've become so used to this new one. You see it on YouTube, you see it on all the paperwork, you see it in Plumbing Africa. So people are familiar with the logo. Make use of that logo. If you're a paid up member, the opposite, unfortunately, also true. The guys that have left IOPSA, or the older guys that they do get letters to say that you're not a member, stop using our logo. So if you see that happening in your area, mention that to your regional exco, they'll sort it out. Tell people that you are an IOPSA member. It creates that confidence thing. It gives them the peace of mind to see that, you know what, this guy's not only a fly-by-night, or he's not a run around by himself. There's actually an organization that looks after him there. You'll see when we talk about doing intermediary work or intermediate work, and we help problem resolutions, etc. Make use of that. It is to your benefit. You are a member of this plumbing institution. I'm proud to be the current president. I want you to be proud of being that IOPSA plumber. And if there's 20 in your region, you be the most proud one out of the lot, because it's your company. You're not doing it for anyone else but for yourself, your family, and your staff. So just to get back to the closing slide, buy local to save jobs. Like I said, it doesn't have to be plumbing material, any level. If you expect your community to support you because you're a local, then I would go as far as to say your local merchants, your local manufacturers, etc., they expect you to do the same. So let's one look after the other to make sure that we actually all benefit. So in closing, I would like to say thank you for your support, not only last year, but also the start of this year, and all of the best for 2023. May your bank balance be higher than your blood pressure, and may you and your company prosper and keep making an impact in the area where you stay. Okay, so sorry, Byron, there were no questions. Am I right? Or there shouldn't have been?
Yes, there are no questions.
Okay, now then the message went out there, and like I said, guys, go out there, make a difference, be proudly our IOPSA, and let the opposition or even the fellow members in. There's nothing like a bit of positive competition or a bit of good, honest rivalry in a community to see who the best plumber is. So let's go out there and make a difference in your community. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this morning, and have a blessed week.